What's going on, everybody? This is Travis from Carter Cow Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the forex market. This is another episode of Trade with Travis, 6:30 morning session. I hope everybody's doing very well this morning as we go through and take a look at what's happening when it comes down to trading and everything goes like that. Do me a favor as we end up getting started. Please make sure that you end up clicking on that like, share, and subscribe button as you end up coming in. What we're going to end up doing is taking a look at our overall trades that we end up having from our Ftmo challenge that we're actually going through. We're doing it with the Boss EA, doing it with the Boss Band EA, which is going to end up coming out in February 14th of this upcoming year. Super excited about that. Also, obviously, we're going to end up doing it with the Boss EA, which is out now. You can be able to get your links and everything else like that. Links will be in the description below that you can be able to take a look at and be able to go from there. But the whole goal is to be able to do it 100% fully automated with those systems. Obviously, we're going to end up taking a look and managing and being able to see what's going on with those systems as well. But ultimately, the biggest thing that I really want to do is not necessarily touch anything and then see how everything kind of plays off. And then after that, we're going to end up doing Ftmo. We're going to end up doing Surge Trader. We're going to end up doing my Forex funds. We're going to end up posting those challenges live so you can be able to see it on my page and on my other page, Expert Advisor Reviews, and end up going from there. So hopefully everybody's doing very well. Let's go ahead and go through the disclaimer, and then after that, we'll go ahead and start taking a look at some overall trades, so we have anything that we can be able to do from a manual perspective as well. So here we go. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money, so please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and be able to take a look at the overall charts and the screens and everything else, I see that Arizona ended up popping in. What's going on, big dog? Hope everything's going well with you. Always good to be able to talk to you. Let's see. Arizona, are you going to try to do the challenge with us in January? If so, obviously, you have my contact information, but if you are, just type in yes, and I send you a message in the Discord, and we end up talking about some of the other information that we're going to end up doing to be able to help you out with that. Everybody else, obviously, as you're popping in, I do appreciate you being able to pop in and send messages and all the other stuff. Very cool to be able to talk to all of y'all. Let's see. Want to make sure I end up getting set up. So, what's happening? Let's talk about this week, because today is Monday, and then after that we'll go from there. This is the third week of December. Remember, December is typically a slow month when it comes down to trading overall. We're going to end up seeing that it probably might end up ramping up a little bit more before the 20th. I typically see that trading, I know from the last few years, trading really kind of slows down. Right during that December 20th to January 1st. So from a live trade perspective, probably not going to do a lot of live trading, but we will be obviously demoing and getting everything else ready for the January push going into 2023, and being able to go from there. I want to place a couple links inside of the chat box real quick. Let's talk about the broker that I end up using. The broker that I use is OspreyFX, and for my live trading and everything else for the Ftmo challenge. I am obviously using Ftmo. That's pretty simple. And I want to make sure I can be able to send out a link for that. Just give me 1 second. I have that link in front of me. That y'all can be able to go to and be able to get that link from there. Here's the link for that as well. Placing that inside of the live stream. And go from there. So be careful to trade a high lot limit. Yeah, I am. Obviously, with the automation systems, we got it set up to where it can be able to trade auto lot for you. You don't have to necessarily have to be able to worry about much of anything when it comes down to that. We just got to set the risk percentage in. The reason why I'm probably going to end up going with, I know for certain when I go with the higher challenges, the $100,000 challenge and everything else like that, I'm going to end up using my Forex funds. The reason why I like my Forex funds is because you get 1 to 100 leverage. And it makes it a little bit easier to be able to get into the trade, get out of the trade, do everything else that you want to be able to do overall. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump. What's Block? What's going on, big dog? Hope everything's going well with you. So let's see. Today, nothing really big when it comes down to major news. So today is basically a educational day. Trader's day. Not that much information when it comes down to high impact news. Typically, when you end up having 3 or more high impact news between 3 or more countries, that's when you end up having a fundamental say. We're not going to have it on Monday, but on Tuesday we will. We see that we have something from Great Britain with climate count change. We see that Germany has something with their harmonized index of consumer prices. We have the United States dollar having CPI energy, so that's going to end up being pretty big that we need to pay attention to. And it's coming out at 9:30, so it's really going to affect what's happening with the index market and everything else. And then after that, we end up having Tankin Large Manufacturing Index on Tuesday. Wednesday, somewhat of the same. We got FOMC on Wednesday. So, Jerome Powell's going to end up speaking at 3:30. Anytime that he speaks, the market moves. I'm looking at DXY, which will fluctuate all currencies and others. Yep. The dollar makes anything move at this particular point. Austria is having unemployment change on Wednesday. Thursday is going to end up being a very big day for Switzerland and Great Britain. And then on Friday, we're going to end up having S&P Global Composite. So it's going to be a big week when it comes down to trading. It's going to be a big week when it comes down to movements. And I think this week is obviously because we're in December. We're probably going to end up seeing that this week is going to end up being pretty big, and then after that's going to slow down going into the weeks after that, as obviously we are going through and getting everything else situated with that. So I'm going to talk about where we're at when it comes down to the challenge. I'm going to talk about one trade that I'm kind of mad about because it worked. Well, not worked. It was placed in on my Osprey account, but it was never placed in on my it was never placed in on the Ftmo account. So currently right now we are up $400 when it comes down to this. Should be up $1,100 if we're being very honest. It was a trade that ended up getting placed in on my Osprey account that did not get triggered in on US 30. So we're gonna end this challenge in about a week. And obviously that's a 14-day challenge as we go through and kind of get the kinks out of the Boss EA. Currently right now, the average profit is 278. Average loss is 330. End up taking 8 trades. Average risk reward at this particular point is 0.84. Obviously, we have a 62.5 win rate, profit factor of 1.4. Obviously, we are in a position to where that last trade that we end up taking on this one is kind of messing up my overall numbers because I thought obviously would be way further along when it comes down to this. But I do think that we can be able to pass within these next 5 days. All we got to do is just get a little bit of help when it comes down to momentum. We get a little bit of help when it comes down to momentum. We end up going from there. Now, there we go. Putting that all together. The trades that we're doing that based off of is US 30 and NAS 100. I want to pull up that. I'm going to pull up that account and talk about the trades that we have that are set up at this particular point. So US 30, US 100 cash got it set up at 11,725, which is the top of the resistance right here. We have some shorts that are at short. Let me make sure I put this in order. There we go. Sell stop is at 11,508 with a stop loss of 11,528 and a take profit of 11,488. Buy trades is at 33,930 and 33,409 respectively. All of these have been triggered in. All of these will be triggered in by the automation system and everything else. Remember, I am not touching this. This whole challenge is me not touching anything and allowing the system to be able to trade. So we'll see how everything kind of plays itself out. I do believe that we'll get some movement today and get some movement for the rest of the week as the market keeps on going, and we can be able to go from there. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts and see what's going on for OSDAT. We end up taking a look at the big three first. If you're not familiar with the big three is the United States dollar index. It is gold. It is oil. The reason why we look at those is because they have strong correlations to the United States dollar, the Canadian dollar, and the Japanese yen, respectively. All right. So from a weekly perspective, We are in the buy zone when it comes down to this movement. The market has found a little bit of support at 12,850. When it comes down to that movement, maybe that might be a strong support. We might see this thing really start to pick back up towards the upside. That retracement that has happened based off of the weekly has went to the 23.6. So that means that if the market keeps on going up at this particular point in time, the market will not be healthy when it comes down to that movement. It may start to reject once again right around that 13,450 area, or better yet at that 13,556 area, as the market has been moving towards that overall standpoint. From a daily perspective, we can see that we're in a no trade zone, and market tried to push up past 12,976. Start to see a little bit of a retest of this overall move. So it was a break out to the downside. There goes your retest. Here goes the continuation of that move. Based off of that movement, the market should continue to keep on moving down towards 12,730. But the weekly's in the buy zone, so it makes it kind of a difficult position to be able to take a look at, because the weekly is expected to keep on, or start to turn around to the upside. The weekly, the weekly is expected to go up to the upside. The daily is expected to go to the downside based off of that movement. So with that being said, both of them are not trading in the same direction. Because they're not trading in the same direction, I'm going to stay away. Hopefully that makes sense. Type in a Y, yes, if that makes sense when it comes down to that position. I'm going to stay away when it comes down to United States dollar for at least this morning. That means Euro, United States, US yen, a few other pairs like that. I'm probably going to stay away as well. All right, US oil. See what's happening with this one. All right, so last time we checked on oil, we ended up saying that there was 2 orders that we could be able to take. The first order would end up being taking a look at 77.11 and seeing if the market would end up dropping below that, and respectively at 73.50. 73.50 has been hit for that overall movement. We just wanted to see if the market was going to end up giving us a breakout and a retest. Currently, right now, that has happened. There goes your breakout. Here goes your retest. Market ended up having that retest happen on the 8th. And then after that, consolidated again. So this was a slight consolidation that we end up having all of this morning. The market has broken out to the downside, so that may be one of those situations where it may consider being able to take a trade. I want to see what the weekly is doing first before I say yes. Oil the ascension is to 62. All right, let me take a look at that, Arizona. I think that I'm pretty sure you're right when it comes down to that. Let me go back to the weekly real quick. All right, so this is what we have right here. That's weird. Why didn't I place this field right here? Okay, so that's messing up my numbers. Hold on. Go back to the weekly. There goes your fractal high right there. Market has retraced to the 5.0. The extension on that one, I have 46. I have 46 on that based off of the weekly. Your D extension is based off of the daily, Arizona. Is your move based off of the daily? Or what chart are you looking at based off of your D extension? While he's going through that, market has retraced all the way to the 382 based off of that new movement. Or did it test the 382? 382 is at 94.35. Did it ever touch 94.35? No, and no. All right, so it's still a 236. So that means that this market will fall down to 63.45, which matches up with that 62 number that you were talking about. So if the market ends up falling down to here, it'll be because of the 80-20 rule. Currently, right now, the market is at 29% when it comes down to the weekly. So we may end up seeing that it may have a little bit more room to be able to fall to the downside as a whole. The daily is in the buy zone, which obviously makes it kind of hairy when it comes down to being able to take this trade. Daily D extension off of this one is at 64.37. So that is what I have when it comes down to that. market was in consolidation, broke to the downside. I would like to be able to see where the this would be a good time to go to TradingView. Let's see what's happening. See what's happening with TradingView. I want to see what the market will drop to when it comes down to low volume nodes. Would you be surprised that even though, you know, obviously I've been taken off of TradingView for a little bit, I ended up seeing that it started to pop up a little bit. We're still at 889. Go figure. Let's see. Chart. All right, so the oil that I'll end up looking at is WTI, West Texas Intermediate. They just have it as U.S. oil on Smart Trader for some reason. All right, so 15-minute. Go to the daily. Last supports that we ended up taking a look at were right here. Put up. Well, last pivot that we ended up taking a look at was right there, right around 65-ish or 66-ish. But I'm not seeing. Got to get some more information to be able to see these nodes kind of put themselves in place. I'm not getting enough news. That's not really helping out. Let's go weekly. Weekly, do you have anything? Okay, that's not helping. Let's see. What's oil? Are you fucking kidding me? All right, let's try this again. First off, can everybody hear me? All right, let's try this one more time. Can everybody hear me? Let's see if I can switch over. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay. I got a little bit of delay. I heard myself. So sorry about that. My internet connection ended up going out real quick. I don't know why, but it ain't like I ain't paying that bill. That's one of the first bills to get paid. Let's see. What were we at? We were talking about West Tech. I mean, we were talking about oil and being able to go from there. So 64, 37, 63 is going to end up being the area where I will look at being able to make a trade. We take a look at it based off of 15-minute. The question is, should we be able to look at being able to get in at this particular point? So support was right here, broke back inside, went to the downside. I will not take a trade off of this one yet, because that is the new support that has to be broken. Until that support is broken, there's really no trade to be able to get into. And we'll go from there. When you have time, I have a question. What's going on, Block? Currently right now we have support. I would say anything below 70, I would go ahead and make that move. But currently right now, I'm not going to do anything based off of that. So oil, going to stay away from that. Let's take a look at gold real quick. On 2 to 3 of your best all goals, what is your profit factor? I don't put a EA out unless it has a profit factor over 1.5. The best ones that I have right now currently, as we go through and take a look at it, let's see, what is this profit factor? The profit factor on this one ended up going to 1 to 1.1. I had to, let's see, this one. If it goes below 1.5, I stop trading with it and I update it on all of them. German 40, German 40's profit factor. 1 to 1.7, I stopped trading on that one as well. Currently right now, the Boss EAs, all of them are up when it comes down to that. That is 4.0. 1.57. So that's a sharp ratio. Profit factor is not quoted on that one as of yet. And the profit factor probably won't be on Box Nas 100 yet either. Oh yeah, it is 1.5. So anything above 1.5, I'll go with. Anything with a sharp ratio above 1, I'll go with that as well. Reason why I do that is because obviously that means that for every $100 that I end up risking, I can be able to make 150 off of it and kind of be able to go from there. Now, obviously, every system is going to be a little bit different. There's going to always be some type of factors that may end up going on. But at the same time, it has to be able to trade. It has to be able to do 80% of what I do. If it can do 80% of what I do, then after that, I let it go. Then I get out the way. If it doesn't do 80% of what I do, then I don't trade it, and I create something else to be able to take its place. Here we go. Go from a weekly standpoint. So you can make as data. Yes, absolutely. So like the FX Striker Max and the FX Striker systems, all of those are going or revamping all of those and getting those set up for the Ftmo challenge and everything else like that. So even though you might have seen a 1.1 profit factor, it made a lot of money for me over the summertime. The thing is that I wanted to be better. Let's see. That's what I'm currently doing for the new year, making new changes with Algo. Absolutely. Hey, we on YouTube. We're not on TradingView. So you got a link or something like that, push it out. Make sure you place it inside of that chat box. They can't flag us now. $17.99 is the overall resistance when it comes down to gold. I'm sorry, 1800 is the overall resistance when it came down to gold. It ended up hitting the D extension already. We're in consolidation. We're going to get rid of all these dots. At this particular point, I will not do anything until the market breaks above 1800 for its buys. I will not do anything for its being able to sell until the market breaks below 1729. And probably won't do it at this particular point. Probably just wait. At this point, gold has a good chance of being able to break out, but there has to be some type of news that's going to end up forcing the market to be able to keep on pushing to the upside. Currently, right now, we have a lot of news that's coming up from an economic calendar standpoint that may end up affecting it, especially FOMC and CPI. But keep in mind, Wednesday is where we'll probably see some type of a pop of a movement when it comes down to that. Okay. With that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin from a daily perspective, I never go to the weekly on Bitcoin anymore. There's really no sense of being able to do it. I got a lot of stuff going on, so let me get rid of half of this stuff. Dow's in a corrective, it's in a corrective wave. We'll take a look at that one as well. I'm having US 30 and I'm having Nas 100 be managed from the EAs. So I am going to take a manual trade off of them if it does play out. But for the challenge, from the challenge perspective, I'm going to end up doing that, or I'm going to end up keeping it on this one. Speaking of that, I have two videos that are coming out a little bit later on today. One is on the Boss EA, the other one's on the Boss Band version. Make sure that you end up taking a look at both of those, or make sure y'all end up hitting the notification when it comes down to those. I really worked hard on all of those. I don't do a lot of editing and stuff like that when it comes down to these, because typically, especially with live streams, you can be able to get it done and just push it out. But I found out that if I want to be able to get any type of numbers on YouTube, I'm going to have to do something when it comes down to being able to edit it and make sure that we have everything else fine with it. So I'm proud about both of those. I want y'all to take a look at those and kind of give me your opinions when they come out. They're coming out at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock respectively this morning. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I'm going to clear this chart because I got too much stuff going on with no answer on why at this particular point. Okay. Let's see. We had a trade. That trade got stopped out. Okay, now we're a little bit better. Okay, so let's talk about what happened, and then after that, we'll kind of we'll talk about what ended up happening based off of that. Oh, and before I forget, because that's on a different channel, if y'all mind going through and making sure that y'all end up subscribing to Expert Advisor Reviews, I greatly would appreciate that. That is the channel where I end up reviewing most of the EAs and everything else like that are created, or that are on the MQL5 marketplace and everything else like that. Pretty cool videos. Always good to be able to take a look at people and kind of learn from them, to be honest. But I end up reviewing their EAs, end up taking a look, giving a deep dive, honest opinions and everything else like that. Obviously, we have our own stuff on there as well, but that channel set up for the community to be able to have a source to where you can be able to get an unbiased opinion. All right, so kind of going through this one, and let's see. So 24,850 was the overall resistance at first, and then after that, the market fell down, and remember this consolidation that we end up having where the support was at 18,240. Since then, market ended up breaking out to the downside. It kind of retested right here on this candlestick, but it hasn't had a true retest when it comes down to that movement. Overall, we're taking a look at consolidation. The consolidation is right here. When it comes down to being able to make any type of move at this particular point, I will not do anything for selling unless the market breaks below 15,047. I will not look at doing anything for buying unless the market ends up breaking past this overall candlestick high at 17,671. Once that happens, then after that, we got an opportunity to be able to do something. But currently right now, I do see the divergence, but obviously, you know, I don't like playing inside of the box. I'll wait until we end up going to the outside. Nice channel name as well. Hey man, I appreciate it. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. There was no sense in sitting up there trying to make up something new. I ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm reviewing expert advisors. So this went with the simple one when it came down to that. US 30, and we'll talk about NAS 100, and we'll go from there. Finish off on these, and then we'll talk again a little bit later on today, obviously in the Discord. Discord, I am going to end up placing again new information or new read material and everything else that y'all can be able to work off of. Just please make sure that y'all end up looking out for that. Y'all have that stuff inside of y'all inbox or inside of the Discord later on today. I found some new material that I really do think that it end up helping out everybody. Plus, obviously, have to update will update the overall area when it comes down to the Discord portion of it. So from a weekly perspective, what is happening? The high point and the high mark of this one was at 36,770. From there, the market ended up falling down in October all the way to 28,620. Obviously, we know in Pushtober, the market really starts to push up, and we end up having a big push to the upside, in which the market has went up to this high volume node right here. Would be a nice spot. There we go. Went to this high volume node right here, and then after that really started to reject right around 33,650. Since then, the weekly is in the sell zone. The daily, the weekly is in the sell zone. The daily at this particular point is starting to curve over, but it's actually in the buy zone as we go through and take a look at it. So the question is, should we be looking at any type of move? Currently right now, I would say if there's going to end up being any type of move, I think that move will be to the downside. But I think that there won't be a true distinctive move until Wednesday. Obviously because of the FOMC. But there is a counter trend line break that has happened based off of this overall movement at this particular point. So let's talk about this one point that's kind of alarming to me right now. And I like what I see. So I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to make this a little bit brighter so everybody can be able to see it. And then after that, I'm going to tell you, I explain why I like what I see when it comes down to that. Going to make this orange. All right. So this was the support that we end up there we go. So this was the support that we ended up seeing before the market broke out, before we ended up taking that trade at 3,400, right? From there, I see that the market has fell down to support at 33,310. There was a high volume node that ended up getting broken to the downside right around 33,621. That's when we end up having that rapid drop on Friday. Since that rapid drop on Friday, we ended up seeing that buyers end up pushing the market back up. I still don't know the reason because of that rapid drop. I didn't take a look at the news or anything else like that. Does anybody know? Arizine, answer this question. Why did the market drop this much right here? Why did the market end up making this 500-point drop? I don't want to go to Bloomberg yet, but if somebody knows, can somebody help me out with that? Because that may end up helping me out for us being able to know what's going to happen over the course of the next week. But the safe trade is still the same trade that we ended up placing in a little bit earlier. 33,300 is the sell trade that we still have kind of pending. We end up placing in that order on the 23rd of November. The 23rd of November. That price or that trade is still out there to where we can be able to get in. I'm waiting for the market to be able to drop this level. Once it does drop to that level, I do think that 33,975 can end up getting touched overall when it comes down to that movement. But currently right now, we're in the middle of consolidation when it comes down to these movements. That makes sense because you take a look at what's happening with the automation systems. The automation systems are basically showing the same thing. They're not entering any they're not they haven't entered any trades, and they see that the natural support when it comes down to this position is at 33,405 and 11,510. So 33,405, which is right here, which is right when the market ended up making that big drop. So yeah, it makes sense that the market that we should not look at being able to take a potential trade until the market at least breaks past this overall area right here. which is the bottom of that high volume node right there. So maybe from an aggressive standpoint, you might want to look at being able to enter in at that point, but I'm going to be a little bit more conservative when it comes down to this from a manual trading perspective. 33,300 is still the position. Stop loss, it's going to end up being above the swing high, 33,560. Take profit is going to end up being at 32,980. 32,980. I still have that trade, still have a trade locked in. If you have not placed that trade back in, this will be the trade of the day for US 30. All right, last one, and I have to get out of here. Nas 100. Take a look at Orlando. I think that we're back inside of consolidation. Had seeking news. Seek for news. Nothing matter. Okay. From a daily perspective, the chart on Nas is starting to get a little weird. We end up having two potential trades that we can be able to get into. Sales stops was at 11,420 with a stop loss of 11,585 and a take profit of 11,120. They have not got hit yet, so please keep in mind that will be the trades that I will still be looking at being able to get into. The one trade that got placed in early at 11,495 got out of that early as well on Thursday. So that trade is over with at this particular point. So currently right now, we're in the middle of consolidation. We're in the middle of this high volume node that is right here until the market ends up breaking below at least 11,500. I would not look at being able to make any type of trade when it comes down to that. Matter of fact, you can reload on this trade that we end up taking at 11,500, placing your stop loss just above the overall swing high. You might have to adjust that a little bit. Yeah, I'll adjust it to be able to ensure that it's above at least this overall consolidation that was there. And then after that, pull the trigger. But yeah, I feel more comfortable being, matter of fact, let me scrap that. Let me not even say that. 11,420 is the trade. Currently right now we're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Over 20 days of overall consolidation. So when this market has a big push, it's going to end up having a big move. It's really going to end up having a big move. Typically, December doesn't have breakouts. December has consolidation just like the summertime. So we'll kind of stay away from it when it comes down to that. All right. Now, with that being said, if you like what we end up doing, please make sure that you end up liking the Trade with Travis page. If you want to be a part of the Discord group, there's a QR code that is on my wallpaper. Make sure that you just take a picture. Make sure you end up scanning that QR code that you can be able to go into. Obviously, please make sure that you end up taking a look at the videos that we're going to end up having on Expert Advisor reviews. That's going to end up coming out today. That's going to end up being the Expert Advisor that broke the market, which is going to end up being the ban EA. Make sure you take a look at the Boss EA and being able to go from there. This is the video based off of Euro, United States dollar. Obviously, we've basically turned around all of those. End up doing a review video on advanced gold trading. A very good video when it comes down to that. And our highest review video at this particular point, the Unibuy EA. If you want to take a look at that, you can be able to go from there. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I'll see each and every one of y'all in the next video a little bit